Hi, I'm Krista. Welcome to the reading. Today's reading is about welcoming the energy of fall. And when I sat down to do this reading, I was hearing the song Yellow Submarine by the Beatles, which was kind of random. I looked up the lyrics, and the one verse that really caught my attention was As we live a life of ease, every one of us has all we need sky of blue and sea of green in our yellow submarine. And I felt like Spirit was using that song to convey that in this coming fall, you will have all you need. I just kept hearing Harvest Moon, and I don't know if Spirit is talking about the actual harvest moon in October or the general feeling of harvest or harvesting, which is something that in the United States we talk a lot about in November, like enjoying the harvest. But I feel like if you are coming to this reading, Spirit is wanting you to know that you will have all that you need in this fall season. Okay, all these cards just came out at once. And right away, I feel that Spirit is giving you a story of where you started and where you're going. Beginning with the Nine of Swords and having that stress and anxiety about whatever you're going through. And I was just thinking in that moment of how my dog has recently passed away, like noticing the dog in this card. And as I was thinking that, a dog outside started barking. So now I feel compelled to also tell you this that maybe you too have lost a pet. And that's why Spirit is bringing it up to me because I'm also noticing a cat in this card. So maybe you have recently gone through a loss and in the fall you will be getting a new pet. But I feel that message is just for like one particular person. It's also interesting that this 9 of Cups card, it's she looks like she has a van that is a bar or something and she's on the beach with these yellow decorations which ties back to the yellow submarine. And with the 9 of Cups, it says living in a constant state of gratitude. And that to me reflects those lyrics back of the Yellow Submarine. Living a life of ease, having all of our cups filled with everything that we need. And then the 6 of Pentacles, I feel with this card, I feel specifically that Spirit is saying, you have been doing so much for everyone else that now Spirit is giving back to you. And I'm getting this feeling of you did things not because you wanted something out of it. You did things from the goodness of your heart, and that is coming back to you. I'm getting the example of like doing a favor for a friend, like maybe helping a friend move, and then when you needed something, maybe you needed to move, or in particular, I'm getting the example of like you had a baby and now that friend is bringing over food or coming over and doing laundry or something to that effect where you did a kind gesture for someone and now someone is doing a kind gesture for you, and it's taking that anxiety away because you're realizing that you have help, like Spirit is there to help you and people in your life are there to help you, and that you're not on your own in this. And then lastly, with the Temperance card, it's about balance and finding balance. And I feel this fall you will find that balance between work and play and having time for yourself. And you will have moments where you give back to yourself and not like just expecting, or not expecting, but not only receiving from others, but you will give back to yourself. Whereas maybe in other parts of the year you weren't able to do that. Like there were other things going on in your life, other stressful things, and you didn't put yourself as a priority. And I feel part of the harvest in the fall will be having the time and the discipline and the boundaries I'm hearing to let yourself be the priority, to give yourself permission. And Spirit had me add the sweetgrass to this reading. And I feel the sweetgrass is part of this cleansing, this like cleansing and decluttering that you've gone through recently, maybe in the last couple months, getting rid of things physically, emotionally out of your life and bringing yourself to this place of balance. And it reminds me of like the witch's broom, it's fall, the witch's broom, and witches use the broom to sweep out old energy. And I feel like that is something you've been doing, particularly because of the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups being beside each other. It's like you did something to take you from the Nine of Swords to the Nine of Cups. Going from worry and anxiety to like everything's protected, I'm hearing. Everything is going to be okay. And this is a very specific message, but I feel called to say it that this card with the wood grain reminds me of a home in like the 70s or 80s. Or like my parents' house has this like wood paneling. And I feel like part of the clearing out may have even been going to your parents or back to your like original childhood home or something where you cleared out things from the past. Actually, I feel that is what Spirit is trying to say. Like, you didn't only clear out things in your present, you went back and cleared out things in your past. And because that room was made, the harvest is coming. It's like thinning out plants. That's the metaphor Spirit is showing me. Like, when you plant a bunch of seeds and all the seedlings come up, but you have to thin out the plants, like pull out the seeds so that the seedlings have enough air and nutrients to grow. Like, you pick the strongest ones to grow. And I feel like you've done that in your life. And like all of these plants are the healthy things in your life that you've surrounded yourself with, the things that you've allowed to stay. That's really beautiful. Also, I like in this card that she's looks like she has like coffee and water, and I'm hearing like stay hydrated. Make sure you're getting your water. Now, this angel deck was actually the first deck I felt drawn to for this reading. So I'm going to pull a card from here. I feel like Spirit has a particular message they want to share with this deck. Awakening. Immediately I noticed it says 29, and 29 is 11 to me. What's interesting is yesterday I saw 11 crows in our yard. I was like, that is such a odd number of crows. And what's funny is we have been putting out peanuts and walnuts and all kinds of stuff since it's been 5 years. We've been putting things out, trying to get the crows to like come to our house to come eat at the bird feeder. One of my dreams is to have like a friend is to have a crow as a friend. So I've been trying to get them to come over, and they just wouldn't. And then one day they just decided that it was okay. And one crow came, and then two crows came, and then three, and then yesterday we had 11. And I feel that that is relevant to this reading because it is like the harvest coming in, the awakening, like this peace that is coming in for you in the fall. It is years in the making. Okay, I want to read the guidebook for this card. 29, Remliel, and I'm sorry, Angel, if I'm saying your name wrong. Awakening. Throughout the 24 hours, abide in the awareness of the presence of God. Then only can there be hope of realization. Who can foresee at what moment he may choose to reveal himself? Sleepers awake. Each of us has a different concept of what it means to be awakened. The essence of what we all seek is divine love and freedom from pain and suffering. Remliel is the angelic awakener whose goal is to bring you to God consciousness and union with your eternal self. He supplies whatever you need to fight the battle between light and illusion, the flesh and the spirit, As you awaken to the wealth of feeling and wisdom within, a mighty surge of passion reveals your divine plan. Feelings of love, sensuality, gratitude, and joy are revived with such intensity that your previous consciousness would not have thought it possible. The words awakening, awareness, and enlightenment provide a clue to this experience. St. John of the Cross described the dark night of the soul as occurring when God desires to bring you into union with the divine spirit. On a dark night, kindled in love with yearnings, oh happy chance, this is a time of deep surrender and gratitude. Want God and only God, for love alone will carry you through and transform your despair into a powerful realization of self love. It takes a great deal of courage to truly feel this magnitude of pain, and that is the only way to be free of it. Once on the other side, the intensity of the experience will have made way for a blessing beyond expectation, such rapture that you will know that you are home, you will have found heaven within. As you emerge into the light, Remliel directs the stretching and expanding of your mental body so that its currents and frequencies are all turned Godward. As illusions are removed, a new awareness may enter. Being awakened means that you see and feel everything, good and bad, with a crystal clear, intense awareness that penetrates all details of creation. This is not possible until you become a clear vessel for the God consciousness of your eternal self. Be willing to go through everything that keeps you from this awareness. Let the angels and God show you the way. So, this is the angels saying, all this stuff that you have cleared, all these things that you have brought to the light and taken a look at and decided whether or not you wanted to keep it or you wanted to let it go, if you that you wanted to release it, like all these things in this state, this anxiety ridden, whether you were going through a dark night of the soul, like whatever you were going through, you took that pain and you used it to awaken yourself. You used the pain to change your life. And like that passage talked about being in the energy of the dark night and having gratitude. And I feel like that's something that you did for yourself, where you were going through something but you were still able to see all the good things that were being provided for you, like all those angel moments. And I feel like we can walk two different paths when we go through something difficult, because we can turn bitter and upset. And I'm not saying to not feel those emotions, like definitely feel, like if you feel that way, feel those emotions, but release them. And I feel like that is what you have done, like you've released these things. And then it's like the second option is to see all the ways God is doing things in our favor despite this thing that we have to walk through. And I'm going to use the example of my dog again just because it was like so recent. We actually lost two of our dogs this year. One was earlier in the year and he was only 8, and it was like out of nowhere and it happened very quickly. And it was one of those situations where we took him to the vet thinking he had like a UTI or something, that he was just gonna get antibiotics and come home. And he ended up not coming home. And so we knew our other dog, who was almost 14, we knew her life was coming to an end, and we wanted a peaceful passing for her. Like, we didn't want to have her go through the stress of going to a vet if we didn't have to take her to a vet. But sometimes emergencies happen, especially in older dogs, and that's just how it goes. But through that difficult thing, we were able to have a vet come to the house. And she had a very peaceful passing. And even though she was sick, the day before she was able to eat a steak and play one more time. And even though it was her time to cross over, and that was really difficult, there's a sense of peace in knowing that in the way at in which she crossed over was like the best possible scenario. And I can think of little moments like that, and all of the difficult times in life, where you recognize that God was there. And I feel like you are also in this energy that you feel this too, that you went from this painful situation to seeing the 9 of cups in it, to seeing that gratitude. And because of this, you have reached a point of awakening. And I'm kind of surprised like the magician didn't come out, because like with this 6 of Pentacles, I just get this feeling that because you've had this great awakening, you've also become a powerful manifester, like a powerful creator to bring in these things into your life now. And that is a huge part of your harvest. That is another reason why everything is becoming more balanced. 10. Good luck charm. If nothing seems to be going your way, cast a spell. And that is that creator energy that you now have, that you can cast a spell and bring these good things into your life. And this is 10 is the wheel of fortune in the tarot. Like you've turned the wheel yourself. And I feel like there has been another reading that I've done, like a very similar reading about fall, where these things are coming in as like spiritual gifts, because it's like the angels have been watching you, and they've been watching you, how you handle these situations. And we are human, and we have freedom of choice and freedom how we react to things and how we choose to deal with things. And you took the path of enlightenment through these challenges. And now your harvest is coming in. And in that message, they are reminding me to remind you of how powerful you are. That you made those changes, you made those connections, you cleared out the past, you did all that. Like, yes, your angels were helping you, but you were the one that did it. And it's important that you recognize that about yourself, about your inner divine light, that you recognize your power. And they just said, you're no longer taking scraps. Like, you're no longer accepting scraps in everything, like friendships, career. Like, you are setting the marker for yourself. You are setting it higher for yourself now because you've gone through this awakening. Like, the bar has been raised, and it should have been high this whole time. Like, the bar always was high. You just didn't recognize it. It's like you didn't feel you had earned it or something. And now I'm feeling like not only do you set the standard and are not allowing things below that standard past you anymore. Well, I'm going to end the reading here. This was a really beautiful reading. I feel honored to share this space with you. And I'm excited for you about like what is coming in for you this fall. And I'm wishing you a wonderful and abundant season. Bye.